mute myself, and then I'll join you back.
You start to worship, yeah. I knew you get hurt bad, baby, yeah. But he's not the answer. So let's celebrate life. All my people, yeah. Let's celebrate life, yeah. We are free from sin. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about Christ. Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about life. Yeah. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about Christ. Talk about Christ. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about life. Right. You're not alone. You have a purpose. Yeah. We serve a high God, greatly. Out of the surface, why you down? Lift your head up, yeah. Get into the sound, yeah. And start to worship, yeah. I know you get hurt bad, baby, yeah. But he's not the answer, so let's celebrate life. All my people, yeah. Let's celebrate life, yeah. We are free from sin. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about Christ. Yeah, right, yeah. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about life. Yeah. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about Christ. Talk about Christ. Let's talk about love. Let's talk about life. Right. Listeners, it's your group TAP. And I just want to share with you my dream. And if you ever had a dream that you thought it was so real that it was so real, I just want to share with y'all my dream. I'm in space, I'm floating real high. Oh my, I'm about to see God. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. Visualize, I'm floating real high. Oh my, you hear the music while you fly. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. Yeah, all I see is what I'm looking for. Living free and brainstorming on how we should book the tour. A million fans screaming, tapping what I'm looking for. But since I'm in the moment, I'ma take it in.
No, that was good. How you feeling? Oh, my nephew's my nephew is a little sore in the weekend. So, I mean, I did the squat good, but I did the toe raises and the squat good, but
I see you being a little more gentle on your right side.
oh, I'm trying to put more pressure on the left.
All right,
that's
good.
Because the left, sometimes I don't put pressure on it, and I'm on my tiptoes, so I'm trying to walk to your toe.
All right.
Disconnection, just a whole lot of ignorant minds and misconceptions. Pray to God for a platform and it was given. Now I'm labeled as one of the greats that ever did it. It feels good to have committed Christians on your team. It feels better just to flesh out what I believe. All the above sounds great, and yes I do agree. But it's that moment you wake up and it was all a dream. I'm in space, I'm floating real high. I'm about to see God. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. lines and floating real high. Oh my, you hearing music while you fly. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. I fell asleep, then I started to rise. My body, I didn't recognize. Then I started to fly. All I could say, oh my, I'm seeing lights everywhere. I'm hearing music all in my head. Yeah, I'm seeing stars. We having church on Venus and Mars. I miss pain, I'm floating real high. Oh my, I'm about to see God. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. Visualize and floating real high. Oh my, you hearing music while you fly. Oh my, I can't believe I'm seeing with my eyes. Flawless tracks.
Yeah. All of that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see what we got going on. Let's make sure the lives are rocking.
Yeah, guys, you looking fantastic.
You think? Guess what? I have not gone to sleep yet.
I believe you. I was trying to keep up with the class, but I don't know when I fell asleep. I was so mad. I just heard everything quiet. I was like, what happened to the class?
Well, you better get some rest today.
Yeah, I'll go to sleep. I'll probably go to sleep after this until about 9 or whatnot. I got on a live stream with somebody and they had started asking me questions and I'm impressed with my knowledge, man. Listen, whew, I'm super impressed with what I've learned over the years. Shout out to Brother African Emporium, man. You know, I was able to share some information, man. Just it was good. So I'm glad the brothers were receptive, and it was some tools that they can actually use. The simplest things that we use when we're in our settings, uh, from trading view um to FinViz to bar chart, tip ranks, uh, earnings calendar. Listen, I'm super excited. The goal is to promote health, well, health, mental health, wealth, fitness, right? And so, listen, I want to be able to get physical fit so I can spend some of the money that I'm making. Okay. So, perfect opportunity.
I know that's right.
Everybody's, the stimulus, I think they passed it, right? They passed the third stimulus. I don't know if it was just the House or the Senate and the House passed it or whatever. But anyways, that's making some traction, and a lot of people just want to know. And I get text messages, "Hey, when the stimulus coming? When the stimulus coming?" I'm like, "Baby, I done made my stimulus in the stock market. I forgot they were talking about a second stimulus, a third stimulus, or whatever." But so the whole physical wellness is so I could get in some of the circles where my brothers that's doing the thing in reference to trading, so I could get some real hands-on knowledge, some one-on-one, some in-person type of deal going on. So I'm super excited about that, being able, they say, when you learn, when you know something is when you could teach it to someone else in layman's terms, when you can bring it all the way down, when you don't talk over the head, but you give them enough information that will help them make the steps necessary for them to capitalize on it. So I'm sure the same thing with Jashandra, when you starting your journey to bodybuilding with your coach, she's accomplished the mission to such a point where when she give the process or gave you the blueprint, that not only could you see results along the way, it felt good, it made you want it more.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself. I actually did buy me some stock yesterday, Mo. I'm proud of myself. I've been afraid of the stock market. I can't lie, y'all. I've been afraid. Like, I've been watching it and I've been learning, but I was like, yesterday things was clicking and I was like, oh, all right, Warren Buffett getting this. Let me just get this stock right here. And I've learned how to read, like, pertaining to their cash flows and things like that, and if I want to, I think getting more comfortable with it, then I can grow my money. But it's like getting in those circles so I can learn and I could grasp the knowledge and not be afraid of it. I'm afraid of things I don't know and I don't really know it. I'm not afraid to say that. I think a lot of people be afraid to kind of say, well, I don't know. I don't do it because I don't know, not because I don't want to. But like you said, I don't understand, and people don't explain it in layman's terms.
That fight or flight.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Angie. Go ahead, Angie.
No, I'm just saying that's that fight or flight. It's causing the freezing, but it's only a conditioning. So
Yeah.
congratulations on starting that, Desandra. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm super excited that you did. What platform are you using?
I'm using right now I'm using Fidelity. Because that would be like my more like my long term. That's where I keep my 401k. So I want to build this like my long term investment because I'm retiring when my husband retires. I don't care how long I gotta work. So when
Hey.
he retire, I need to be able to retire. So that's gonna be like my long-term investment account. But I kind of want to open up, like I've been listening, like to some of the stuff you guys been talking about, you, Brother African Emporium on the platform. I go back and listen. And it's like I want to get me like something where I can kind of do some short-term stuff. So if I need to pull out, I can pull it out of there. I really don't want to pull it out of my long-term fund.
So yeah, so you should, dip in for a little bit on Tuesdays and Wednesday evenings. Dip in, dip out. You don't have to stay very long. Grasp fundamentals that will help you make better decisions. That's what I was doing from about, oh my God, like 3 this morning. I don't know, maybe 12. I think when I got into the conversation, probably was about 3 this morning to like about 5 till 6.
My intention was to get on last night, but a young lady called me and she needed some help, like just like we're getting started with her fitness, like and all that. With because she was asking me about the online program I'm creating, but her daughter is young and she's kind of overweight, and we were just looking at an avenue to try to get her involved. And I kind of I did like you did. I got on the phone and I stayed on the phone longer than I thought I would be. But I gave some, I just wanted to help her out, and I'm passionate about kids and obesity. So I was just trying to give her some tips and tricks and some tools to kind of get her child involved, because it's hard to get kids involved. And I wanted to get on last night. And I was like, dang it, I missed it, and I'm so tired.
That's the mentorship. That's the mentorship. So that's paid.
Oh,
That's with African Emporium.
I
So
might need to look into that paid
yeah,
mentorship. I might have to.
it's $30 a
Send me
month.
some information on it,
Oh
or how
well,
to get in touch with Brother
it,
African Emporium. I think I'm on his page.
yeah, just inbox him and
Okay.
he'll hook you up. Yeah, so
Okay.
that particular one is a mentorship. So we all jump in. So even with he is my mentor, coach, my guru, my go-to. He's very disciplined. He doesn't in his presence, he does not allow us to be reckless. If we say something, that we didn't do our due diligence, he reels us back in a very professional way. He's phenomenal when it comes to practical understanding. He has a wealth of knowledge, in all the different areas and in the world in general. And so it helps out. He's very humorous. He got a very good, very humorous side of him. It's hilarious. He can joke, he could be serious, he be on it, and he could go. And I love the fact that when he does his round robin, in class, he'll do a round robin to try to meet you where you are. So whatever your questions are, whatever you're looking for, is where he start that conversation, and he'll just go around the room to each individuals. And so as you stick around, you will learn from each other's journey of what they are interested in. And so you will pick up more nuggets, and so you could drop in, drop out however you need to, and pick that up however you want. And so I love that, the how faster, because it's something that you may not have even have known to ask, that someone else has asked, and it helps you. He has a wealth of resources. I never forget when we started in 2018, and he sent us 26 attachments. You hear me? I still have those, from books to videos to websites to Oh my goodness, you name it, it was on there. And so sometimes when people ask me, I will forward them that same email. One thing I've learned in reference to investments is the same way with the physical fitness side of it, is that you have to build a tolerance for understanding the unknown, things that it wouldn't easily pique your interest, that would excite you or entertain you. And I think one of the brothers Alfax said it tonight on the call, that it will expand your intelligence, because you start listening and seeking information, and the information that you're seeking is in reference to corporations and their moves, and the news, how the world works and run, the treasury. Oh man, so you start tapping into all the different areas of what we have going on in this society, and so you become well-rounded. Your conversation grows, your water cooler, as we would say, your water cooler conversation grows to a whole nother level. So instead of you just having a typical conversation when you run into your girlfriends or your husband or your significant others or your kids, then now you're starting to talk financial literacy. That one thing that we say that does not get taught in school actually becomes a household gift now. Now your household becomes financial literacy. And so you start to approach the grocery store different. When you're going out and you buying your healthy items or the items that you need to be successful in your whole fitness program, now you start to buy from companies that are publicly traded, because if you're going to spend your money with them, you want to return back from them. Then you start using those different tools like the debit cards and things of that nature, that when you swipe it, you get stock back and it goes back into your portfolio and it makes a difference. So you start feeling a little different about how you go about doing things, from the grocery store to the department store to where you travel, how you travel, what are you using to travel. You start looking at your personal finances in a whole nother way. And so it broadens the perspective, and then when you start to communicate, it comes out literally. So your kids start to pick up a little bit on that, so they watch what they do. So like sometimes if I go in the store with Zion now, he'll say, is this traded? Because he knows if I'm gonna swipe my card, I'd be like, what are we about to do then? Where am I about to spend my money? So that when it brushes off on your seed is a phenomenal thing, because now they watch their spending, and you'll start to budget different, because you'll get to a point, like you say, you have some different accounts out there for long term when it comes to securing your lifestyle for future after retirement. Hold on. Ooh, got your. You'll begin a budget now would be different. A budget now will consist of not just a dollar amount in the investment, but you will pay attention to the interest rates. You'll pay attention to where you're getting the best bang for your buck. You'll start to see that that now so in my econ, let me back it up. In my econ, we have a tool called a financial strategy. And the financial strategy is designed for you to eliminate debt and then take that cash flow and put it into cash producing assets. So when you free up money now, you don't just free it up and you begin to spend on trivial things that doesn't give you a return on your investment. Hold on. Oh God. I kill myself. Hold on. Drink this water. Now what you do when you free up that money, or when you free up cash flow, you start to put it in cash producing assets. So Deshandra, you know a lot about that because you're in the real estate. You're a realtor, right? So a lot of people, they look at just real estate and being able to flip that and make money, but the other assets other than real estate, stocks and bonds, right? So then you'll learn to diversify your portfolio. Where are you putting your eggs, right? You'll look at you'll start looking at your assets, you'll start looking at how you're benefiting, what are your gains for those assets, and then you'll state. So one of the things I did this year, I was like, okay, let me look at all my assets that I have, and particularly I'm talking about just the equities. And I went through and it's okay, how much gain have I earned on each of these? And so I had a target goal that I wanted to at least gain anywhere from 3% to 8% on every one of my equities. So if it was falling less than 3%, then I sold it. I got rid of it and I put it in something that was gaining. So I looked at the historical trend for a year of those companies, and I wanted to make sure that if I'm gonna hold my money into the equities market, then I wanted it to be in growth stocks, or what we call use case stocks. And then I said, okay, now of these companies that are growing that I selected, which one of those have dividends? So I said, okay. So before I started to move money around, things of that nature, I was making my list of what I was going to do. So then I selected the ones that had dividends. So I said, okay, so if I sell this group of stocks, I want to put it in this company that has dividends. So not only as I know that this money is going to grow this much or more in a year, I'm also going to receive this amount of dividends back. That's not just power. That's not just black power. That's economic power. So you're talking about, so then it's like, okay, all right, I got that going. Let me start looking at some ETFs. This is where you have a collective stocks under one ticker. What's moving what? What's the retailers? What's the technicals? What's hot right now? Renewable energy, technology, what's going on? What is the administration's concerns right now? Where should I look? What would give me the best trade? So I have my fintech accounts broken out to cover different value-based goals that I have. So I have retirement piece. I have some um, dividends. I have some things I'm gonna do options with, and I have some that I'm a day trade. And so I take my cash, this dollar amount that I decided that I want to spend, that I'm going to send in the market. So I have a dollar amount that I automatically send to retirement stuff. That I have a dollar amount. Okay, this one I'm going to play with. Either I'm going to just purchase the asset right out and it could possibly be long term, or I'm going to make an options play on it, right? And so I have that little dollar amount that I will play with. So at this point, my budget changed tremendously. So instead of having money to go and eat bad stuff or to go entertain myself in a way that I don't get a gain for it, I took that money and I invested. And then when it's time for me to take, you say you travel out of the country, travel back and forth, whether you're going to visit friends or whatever you're doing, or you're doing things with your kids, or in your case, you guys got kids that are still in school. So when they get out of school, and when the summer comes, kids outgrow their clothes. So maybe you want a certain dollar amount by the summer so you can purchase your kids some summer clothes. Or when school starts again and they're going back into the classroom, maybe you want to save a certain dollar amount so you could pull out so that you can purchase your kids clothes. Maybe you want a new car. Maybe you want a house. Whatever it is, take that dollar amount, whatever you're trying to do, come up with a strategy to participate in the financial market or find a use case stock that will grow that money so that you can reach that goal. It can happen. I started 2020 with a goal of $20 a day. Well, I started at 5 and 5 got easy. So I went to 20 by the halfway mark. And so at 252 trading days in a year at $20, that's a little bit over $5,000. So I was like, okay, so if I can do that in a year, then I'll grow it. For first, I only started at like 1,800, give or take a little. And I hit that at the 6 month mark. So when I started seeing the money grow more, I was like, wow, I need to change my strategy and get more. I didn't change the goal. I kept it at 18, but I exceeded it. So I went to the 5,000. I said I was going to do $20, just, seeing if I can hit that mark at that at that last 6 months, and I actually did. I ended up getting to 5,000 in 6 months. So I started off the year with, okay, let me see how I can budget to make this work. So the crazy thing about it is the money that I'm putting in the market, that money was going to something. I don't know what it was going to, but I could tell you in 2019, I didn't save $5,000, not off of the money that I have exposable. Everybody knows my situation, my career, and all that great stuff. Yeah, that stuff is gone. But I'm talking about just exposable money. I didn't save that 5,000 that I was able to either grow into, the money that I was able to invest and grow into the 5,000. That money, I have no early idea what I was spending that money on prior to 2020. No idea. So when I made that move, I was super excited. I was like, man, who or what was I spending money on like that? So those things were removed. I can't even remember why. Maybe it was a lot of travel because we didn't get to travel in 2020. That could be. I could have been spending that money travel because I went to New York a million times in 19, 18, 17, 16. It could have been, family, that I was just spending on or whatnot. But the point is that I was able to make an adjustment. And so now this year in January, I've already made 1,000 above the 5. So I'm like, whoa, if I can make $1,000 a month, most people are making 1,000 a day. Kudos and high five. I have my little strategies that I use. I'm like, wow, if I can make $12,000 this year, or what that means, I would have in 2 years did 17. Man, I get excited just off of knowing that I started with $5 in January and look where I'm at now. So it made me want to be in the classroom with Brother African Emporium, sitting there and learning and taking that time and listening. It made me want to turn in CNBC, the Business Insider, whatever, or listening to the press conferences or C-SPAN, or putting it on, looking at Yahoo Finance, or looking at the futures market, or every now and then popping up, seeing what the news are on different companies, things of that nature. That became exciting, when before that was a boring deal for me. Like, I was like, oh God, I don't even know what they're talking about. And just listen. I remember sitting in on live streams on the Manpower, Man Cave Sundays. Brother African Emporium would come in, and I would fall asleep a million times, and he would just be going on and on and on and on, and he just let me sleep, and then I'll just wake up and start talking like nothing happened. And learning nothing. Ain't learning absolutely nothing. But 2020, I got super serious, the same way I super serious about my physical fitness. And so I'm hoping to take that same excitement and excitement on this 60-day challenge and transition my body the same way, to love on myself the same way, to make that transition. And if I am able to accomplish that mission, watch out, mental power. Because at the end of the day, I've gone beyond the 20-day habit deal, but actually tapped into making it a lifestyle. Where y'all at?
We're listening, we're clapping, we're like, whoo.
We're listening, we're taking in information.
Absorbing it. It's like, woo, yeah.
Yeah. It went from, I kid you, it went from $5, y'all. Show the transaction is crazy. And people, I had a lot of friends that was like, $5, girl, they ain't no money. Come back and talk to me when you making this much or that much. And I'm like, well, it's a lot to me. Do you know I just spent? I'm trying to figure out where that 5,000 went them years before. You know what I could have done with that money? No, didn't even care. Just spending. Man, I could have did some new floors, or you know what I'm saying, got some new furniture or something over the years or something. But just
make sure you close dry.
Just tribute, not even paying attention to what I'm doing. But I got on that cash flow strategies, put in that financial goal plan, wrote out what was important, rank that junk from 1 to 5, put in how much I could spend. I can remember when I first did the cash flow strategies, and I had zero cash flow. And I was like, so I put it in and I was like, okay, then I got to work myself to it. Then I end up having $20 cash flow. Then I end up having $100 cash flow. Then I end up having $200 cash flow. Then $200 went to $1,500 cash flow. And I was like, okay, you working now. Then I went to just the major, the foundational things that you should have: a house note, car note, life insurance, vehicle insurance, house insurance, just no debt, just the debt that's you inevitable to have, like it's gonna be there, okay? And so then that credit score start to go through, and I was like, hey, check me out. Not, I didn't have bad credit before, but I didn't really care about it, so I was just doing whatever, right? And so when you start instead of starting some, your smart goals higher than what you can attain, knowing you don't have that level of financial stability right now, but start with something. Start with $1, start with $3, whatever. But don't just stay there because you are uncomfortable with not buying your latest daiquiri, or
Mm-hmm.
you uncomfortable for not buying the next special at Red Lobster, or this, that, or whatever you're into. Okay, maybe the next pair of sneakers or whatever, because you at $5. Your goal is at $5 because you got to have the latest fashion. Every time Ross put a sale out on the Tuesdays, you got to be in the store shopping or whatever, right? Every time Bath and Body Works have that 3 for 3, you got to be in there buying, or you got to get them nails done every 2 weeks. They ain't even peeked out the cubicles yet. You already back in the nail shop making somebody else rich. So don't create a dollar threshold that just because you have other stuff going on that you don't want to give up. It's the perfect time, and take out your bank statement, see where you're spending your money at. That's a gut check for many, because they don't want to look. They making money, whether they're entrepreneurs or they have a job. They can cover their bills, and they just doing whatever. Never looked at a bank statement, never look at the historical trend of how they're spending their money. Don't even care, because as long as they're surviving, they're good. When in actuality, you could get like me and have a life-changing event, unable to bring in a certain dollar amount because of your abilities now has diminished. What do? Not enough for you to get Social Security, but difficult for you to maneuver in the workforce and be productive. So now your income has gone from here to here. What did you do to prepare? Not looking for any significant events to happen in anybody's lives, but it don't even have to be an injury or something that takes you automatically. It could be you having a kid. It could be you getting a significant other. And I have learned, even though I'm not married, but I have learned just dealing with business partners, that time management is super important. My hat goes off to you who have kids and a spouse or significant and have to cover your home. Woo! Y'all need some breaks. Y'all need some recreation in your life. Y'all need some relaxation. Honey, take care of your mental health and take care of your time. Cause I'm not even an inch into that. And I'm like, woo, going here, going. I'm like, whoa, boy, if I was actually married, oh, I have to hold on, push pause. We gonna have to stop for a minute. Break out a calendar or something, because I ain't doing this every day. I'm gonna need to do this on this on this day, and then I know that's not even practical. Some of y'all probably like, yeah, all right, Mo, okay, yeah, that shit don't even work like that. you gotta sneak it in, And so just to even have time to go over a budget to start investing and doing something is like, what, girl? I gotta figure this out. What you gonna say, Jashandra? Oh. I thought you about to say something. Oh, what not?
No, I don't have nothing to say, man. That's you hit the nail on the head. But you got to make time when you're married.
Yes.
You have to carve out that self time. And I told said yesterday, I was like, I'm not gonna be afraid of this year. And this is the year I learned that. Just like now, I'm trying to learn like some coding, some SQL stuff. I was like, this is the year I learned it. I'm starting because it can really intimidate you. So I was like, man, this is the year. I was like, I told my trainer yesterday. It's funny you say that. I said, I want it all. I want it all.
Let's go, baby. Number one, we want you to bring it home too, and that takes some effort. That takes time management. That takes some rest. Kudos for recognizing and relaxing and then being able to bounce it back and get yourself where you need to be. That's a big discipline. Big
You
discipline.
know what, Moto? That's why I told you, but make sure you get some rest today. That's
Yeah.
one thing over the past 2 years I've neglected was my rest.
Rest. Yeah.
Yes. And with what you're trying to do from a physical aspect, if you don't get enough rest, your body will start fighting against you. So make sure you are getting your rest. I mean, I wasn't sleeping. I would go to bed at maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe get 2 hours, or maybe I wouldn't go to sleep. I would just toss and turn, and read and do stuff like that. But now I make it a point. I shut my phone down. I have to rest because if you don't rest, you'll never be at your sharpest. Your sharpest that you could be for your lifestyle. So make sure you're getting that rest in.
Oh yeah, I plan to sleep. I had to get some SBA stuff in, some grant stuff in, and time got the best of me. But I plan on getting ghost on them for a little while this morning and whatnot, and make it do what it do. I don't have anything going on this evening or anything like that. But the every now and then I get a little insomnia um with sleep and whatnot. But I'll bounce it back and everything. But yeah, man, it's like creating that opportunity for yourself. We create opportunities for everyone else. And financially, if you want to be at that dollar amount. Now, here's the thing though. Retirement, because I retired in 16 involuntarily. Right. So when I knew I had to retire, 3 years out, I started working on what the plan was going to be. What did I want to do? What was going to take less effort and still be able to me to bring in a compensation? Because one thing about retirement, some of the benefits that you would get if you were still employed, it changes your economic status. So getting into investments and having that supplement is beautiful, right? And one of the things I noticed is the fact of thank you, Angie. One of the things I noticed is that the plan, making sure you look at the budget, what that number is to be. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show you guys better than I could tell you, and I'll end on this note. So in MyCon, and I got a nice check today. Thank you, MyCon. I appreciate my appreciate my increase in my cash flow. I had to go see if somebody joined my team or something. I was like, man, did I get some new people or something? What in the world? I got a check today. That's what I'm talking about. Like checks. What now? Multiple sources of income, baby. Oh, hold on. I didn't mess around trying to get on somebody else's site. Where is my password? See if I can get on this bad boy. So I'm gonna show you guys a tool. It's called cash flow strategies. Let me move this out my way. I talk about the cash flow manager a lot from an accounting perspective. The cash flow strategies I don't talk about a lot. Let me show you how it works and what got me on the status. So in MyCon, they talked about a lot about getting money getting cash flow for your lifestyle, being able to eliminate debt, getting to a point where you can invest. And so I joined my econ in 2016. And so from that point on, I was working on a way to get to a point to be able to invest, not have to go back and look for that funding or having to pull it out prematurely, whatnot. So this cash flow strategies, right? I'm just gonna name it 2021 more now. Right? It has top 5 goals. Something you would do if you're sitting with a financial advisor. They would ask you these questions. Okay. What are your financial goals? Place 1 through 5 in the box. So you would look through these. The categories are increase my income, reduce my taxes, buy a new home, make a major purchase like car, furniture, boat, those type of things, pay off debts, all debts, pay off debts, excluding the mortgage, save for college, education, retirement, or build retirement assets, right? So I'm just gonna come up with some. Just name some and just put some goals in there, right? Then you go to the second part, retirement freedom. These are the questions. What is the least amount of monthly income you desire to retirement? This is where it get real, right? At this point, you have to look at this question. You have to think about this question. Okay, what does it take to sustain your lifestyle right now? So we're talking about how much are you paying out that will cover you your basic needs and some of your desires, right? So you could take however much you're spending right now. If you think you need a little bit more, right, you add to that number. So just for kicks and giggles, okay, let's just say 5,000, right? If you got kids and a spouse, maybe more, I don't know, just throw it in there. You want to keep it real for you though, okay? What year at the latest do you plan to retire? You put that year in that you plan to retire. So we're in 2021. Let's say I say 2027. How much of your monthly retirement income do you expect to receive from Social Security and company paid pension plans? At this point, if you have a retirement plan, or you possibly think you might get Social Security, or you maybe have a 401k or some traditional IRA or mutual fund, money market, something like that. You add right here, how much do you think that you might get from this plan? Okay. So together, let's see, Social Security usually about $1,800. If you add maybe what you might get in retirement, so let's say maybe you get about 5,500. Okay. What is the appropriate value of your investment portfolio now? So you say if you're investing now, you would say, what would that value be right now? Let's say you don't, you haven't even started yet. You want to get started. So let's say you say 0. How much money do you currently invest monthly in a long-term savings? Okay. Let's say, you don't have a savings. You're like, look, Mo, I just been living. I've been kicking it. I've been chilling. I know I ain't been doing it right. Okay. I don't have anything in my savings. Okay. I'm just going to keep it real with you. That's why I'm here now. I want to do better. I want to get it right. Okay. Say, how much additional money monthly can you invest in long term? And you think about it, you're like, you know what? I don't have anything I'm saving right now, but I have something that I would like to start saving. Let's say you start with $100. All right. How much money do you have set aside for emergencies? You like, listen, look, I told you I've been chilling now. So if I ain't got nothing in my savings, I sure don't have nothing for emergencies. Let's say you say 0. And number 8, it says, do you feel you currently have a plan in place to accomplish your retirement goal in a desired time? And you like, shoot, I'm getting it right now. Yeah, I think I got me a little plan. Right? So you go ahead and you say yes. All right. So now debt elimination. So let's go ahead. You put in your creditors. Let's say you got the mortgage going or whatnot, right? Let's say you owe about 230,000. You know, some of y'all ballers out there, y'all ain't got them big payments or whatever. So let's say you're paying about 1,500 a month. Oh man, in some cases it might be 2,000 a month. Maybe this is an understatement. Let me bump this up a little bit. $900 a month. Okay, let me add on. Let's say you got a car note. Okay, same thing. Y'all like them big body vehicles. Let's say you paid about 45,000. You still owe on it. Your car note probably like 450. All right, I'm just hypothetically speaking. Y'all don't mind me. Let's say you got a credit card. Credit card. Let's say you got about a $7,000 balance. You're cheap, so you pay $100 a month. Try to penny pinch off of it or whatnot. Let's see. Let's say you have what would be another. No, let's say you have more than one credit card. You know how y'all do. Y'all can't just have one. Y'all got to have more than one. Let's say you got about 10,000 on this one. All right. So let's say this note is about 125. All right. And just kicks and giggles, we put just 4 in there. Then we come down to recurring monthly expenses. All right. So we got our utilities. Okay. Let's say our utilities all together maybe add up to about $450 a month. Okay. We're going to add on to that. We got our communications. We got cell phones. We got cable. We got all that stuff. So let's say that comes out to about $230 a month. We got insurance. Let's say that's about $310. And let's say we got life insurance, and that's give or take a little. You go add all your stuff up, and you could put it in there, and then you hit save and return. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna calculate. It's gonna put all this in perspective for you. Okay, so basically this cash flow strategy is working on at least an 8% rate of return, right? So now when you know kind of where I kind of get my 3 to 8% deal from, right? 8% or more on my investments. So across the board, that's what I'm looking at my portfolio. If it falls below that, I need to start looking at my strategies. I'm gonna make some changes and I'm gonna work that out. Okay. So looking at my goals, I'm planning to retire on 2027. Okay, I said my retirement goal monthly dollar amount was 5,000. Projected I had with pensions and Social Security that I would get about 5,500. My real net dollar value amount needed to reach monthly desired goal negative 500. My total assets needed to provide desired monthly goal at 8% return on investment negative 75,000. My projected value of asset owned today, I said 0, so I ain't getting nothing from that. Projected net value assets needed to provide monthly income goals, negative 75,000. Monthly amount needed for investment to build retirement freedom goal, 0, right? Now, let's get to the meat and potatoes. So we said that we had $100 that we could put towards to start creating this whole financial freedom, okay? From withholding taxes, if you're paying too much in taxes, you never really paid attention to how much you're paying or even touch your W-4 since you've been working at a job, you probably need to do some adjustments, or maybe you're already doing adjustments, so you murdering that as well. But if you haven't, then you probably can get some funding back just from your W-4s, your W-2s throughout the year. You know, if you look at it, see if you're paying too much taxes. So when I was working, if I had known about these strategies, I was paying at least almost 7 to 8 just in taxes. They were kicking my butt for something every pay period or whatnot. So this is an easy number for a single person. Ooh, right? So all together, you got $100 to add to it. So what it's going to do is going to start going towards what you do. You start taking the cash flow and start applying it to payments. So your recurring monthly payment is $1,240. All right, giving you a projected cash flow of $1,340. So you knock that out. So basically, it'll take the cash flow, that 100 to start with that $100 you said, that you had available to put towards payment, and it'll put these debts, these creditors in order in which you're going to eliminate the debt, starting with that 7,000 credit card. Take that $100, put it towards your new payment. Oh, I didn't put no payments in there. I'm sorry. I guess I should have put payments, but you get the point. To add the $100 to your current payment that you have, it tells you the total months that you're going to be able to eliminate that, which is 4, and so on. So once you free up that credit card, you take that money and so on, and you pass it on to all these different debts until you pretty much eliminated it. And then it gets you here of how much cash flow that you would have eliminated and how long it would have it's going to take you to do that. So when you do it in real time with your own money, you can see how that works. You create your own goals, right? And then it gives you a target of where you would be along the way if you would actually save that money versus spending it all the time. So this was a rough draft of how all of this can actually work, where you start from. So I started in 2016 and I had freed up my money and I was ready to invest in 2020. And so I started investing in 2020. So I had already went through the growing pains of what debt I needed to eliminate. I had already gone through, the anxiety of not being able to spend the exposable money, but put it towards stuff that needed to be eliminated from the financial picture. And then once I got there, I was ready. I had the $5 a day to be able to do it monthly. And then once I started growing money in the equities market, then I was able to put more money away because now my exposable money was actually growing versus not coming back at all. I was just spending on things that just didn't, was no value at all. And so now it started to make perfect sense. An entire year and discipline myself. Okay, no matter what, don't take nothing out. I waited to the very end of the year, right before my birthday, to take some money out. All of which the next month I accumulated back double. That's what being able to, you want to get in the market when you got your home space in order, when you sustained it to the point that you won't have to go and get that money, right? So when we start talking about money we need for retirement or being able to retire or wanting to retire and still maintain the lifestyle, we're talking about at this point, taking out that paper and pen or pulling out those bank statements, looking to see where you spent your money, and then deciding to start disciplining yourself to eliminate some of those areas that you don't need. It's not a must, right? It's just a habit. It's just a want. It's just something that you've done. It doesn't really benefit you, right? So you take that funding and then you start to get rid of some of the major creditors that you really don't need. If you need your credit cards, pay them down to a healthy point where you start to benefit from those cards, right? And once you get a dollar amount that you could take and you could put it in an investment account and it starts to grow to a certain point, then, like you said, you putting the money into your fixed um retirement accounts right now, but you would like to get into a little bit more day trading because you probably get excited over people who's making those option plays or making those day trading plays and things of that nature. Now, at that point, now you're able to have several investment accounts working for you, but comfortably. Not to the point you got anxiety, be like, man, I sure need to go tap into that. Like some people have to tap into their 401ks early, prematurely. Some people it's necessary because probably had a disaster at home, so they had to fix their home front, or maybe the pandemic got the best of them and they thought that was the best option. I would encourage you when you have a significant event, especially if you own a home, you start looking at options that are out there. So right now, you still have the forbearance on the table till March the 30th, where you could put up to 6 months, or in some cases a year if you have federal mortgage, your mortgage is backed by federal programs. In some cases, it's 6 months plus 6 months. So it's a year that you could defer those. Brother, shout out to Brother African Porium, push that information out, is you could defer those payments on the back end. So you could free up some money to start making some moves, right? Because you already have it. Or maybe you never taken equity out to make that move. You could do that. So start asking questions before you start tapping into funding that you need later on. Are you gonna find yourself working until you 60 and 70? And you don't really want to do that, right? But if you want to retire, retirement for me was getting a sustainable income that I didn't really have to work so hard for something else. So for me, it didn't mean that I stopped working. It just means that I started working on something that I like that's going to benefit me. So we were able to get our first governmental contract. When I say first, I mean independently of anyone else, with the opportunity on your own skill set and your own talent, and then be able to duplicate that. That's the freedom I was looking for. Instead of going 8 hours a day, 10, 12 hours for someone else, but retiring, taking that money, sustain the home, being able to invest, and then go and do something you love to do and consult and train and, pour out everything that you actually learned along the way. For me, I've been out of high school 30 years. So, time to start transferring the knowledge and giving back or whatnot. Being able to give back, being able to pitch in and donate where you need to donate. If you want to get to those type of benchmarks. So I was 38 or 30, 38, 39, somewhere around that point, right? Of stability. There's more than one avenue to get there. Military is not the only avenue, but if you're making smart choices in the workforce, you can get there as well. Bouncing around every 1 to 2 years, that's not going to get you to retirement or sustainment, because you're going to get anxiety trying to invest in the market because your home front is not stable. And when you're able to sustain the home front, then you could play in different areas. So when you do retire, it's a matter of, okay, I'm going to be doing something. I sustain my home front financially, and then now I can do something for me that can add to that with less stress. But be careful, because being a business owner on your own, everything that your boss used to require, now you have to require of yourself. And oh, by the way, if you start accumulating employees, the same way they used to treat you, you're going to start treating them there. Then you're going to have to catch yourself. You'd be like, damn, I remember they used to treat me like this. This is why they used to do that, right? Because good people is hard to find, honey. So all of that plays in effect when it comes down to those retirement plans. Also, if you have those type of, one of the things I wish I had learned prior to retirement was insurance, life insurance. If being able to look for an insurance policy after the fact was a huge problem, because you spend all those years in the workforce and you use company benefits, and then when you're gone, those policies don't come with you. So I should have had an outside policy with that, and then it would have been less premium, and it would have ran in. So instead, I lose the policy 6 months later, and I have to start all over. And then guess what happens when you start all over? Your medical situation is not the same. And so you get your options change and you pay more. So, if some of those things some people are lining up with, you got to know, if you're going to retire, you got to look at all of that. All of that. If you're relying on anything from company to help sustain you or that benefits you, then you have to figure out a way before retirement how you're going to start to engage in that without them, and that be a factor. And so all of that comes with cash flow. Being adulthood that I can remember happened, which in 2007, 2008 timeframe, and we weren't getting raises, I reel myself back in and say, okay, what is a dollar amount I can live on no matter what? And even though I was making well above that, I made sure I kept my expenses there. All the way up from 2007 until now, I live on that same 36,000 income with ease. It takes discipline. All the rest, well, y'all know what I do. I have fun with it. I'm investing it now, but but I'm comfortable. I could do that. So you got to get to that point as well. So that's where the discipline in my physical. I'm like, well, I did good with monitoring what I do financially, but boy, physically, I sure didn't do a good job. I just let that go by the wayside. Now I got to fix it. Now my physical got to catch up with my finances so I can enjoy the decision being made. So if you're going to retire, financial sustainment is important. It's very important. If you have a spouse or significant other that's helping you, balance that out. You got to remember, at some point, one income may not be available. And you got to prepare for the rainy day. Those are tough conversations to have, but they're necessary. We have a lot of bills on the floor right now for veteran spouses who were caretakers, lost their spouse. Their income, say, went from here to there. Their income as a caretaker diminished. If they didn't fill out the proper paperwork, guess what? That's going to. Never hold a regular job, always took care of the home front, took care of the spouse, whether it's the woman or the man. You do not want to get caught in those situations. So budgeting is very important. Getting yourself invested in something outside of the workforce, outside of your 401k, outside of your TSP is very important. Don't just put your money in the hands of other companies and you don't understand how it's growing. You need to check up on it. It's been a pandemic, whole 2020. When last time you looked at your portfolio? What it looks like? Is it growing? Is it necessary for you to, is it going, are they still matching? Is it necessary for you to still putting your money in company funds and you've already reached your max and so there is no more match for you? So shouldn't you take some of that now, leave that where it is and put it in something that's gonna help it grow? Or you could care less because you feel like it's secure from the company's perspective. It doesn't really matter to you if it grows anymore until it's time for you to retire. And you realize that Social Security check ain't gonna sustain you. 1,800 not gonna sustain you if your household income right now is 55. It's not. You're gonna be back in the workforce. And I can tell you, there's a lot of people. When I got ready to retire and I left the state job, they was like, "Oh, girl, you getting out of here a bit too early. You gonna be back." They always come back after retirement. I'm like, you don't know me very well. If I tell you what my mortgage is, you're going to be like, what? How you get a mortgage so cheap? Because when the government put programs in place, you take advantage. When President Obama put that modification program in place, I took advantage of it. Interest rate went boop. Mortgage went boop. That 100% came in place, took advantage. No taxes. Mortgage rate, boop. They got the forbearance thingy in place. Okay, let me get that too. Now let me put that in an investment. Let that grow, right? Everybody else doing it. Okay. So I mean, being able to cash flow is super important. So kudos to the cash flow and you learning on cash flow, Deshandra. We know it all so well and how it helps to make better financial moves. My cash flow is, probably like this on the side, Sherry's, but nevertheless, sustainment is still good. Okay. And vice versa. So you guys, the market has caused me to be disciplined in more ways than one. So money is one thing, and it's kind of it folded over into my physical training because being able to research and read up on health products and uh, exercises and different things you could do that will help and aid and assist in where your goals are is important. And sometimes that research is boring to read through, or reading up on what your issue is and understanding it more helps to for you to, your journey to be a little bit easy, because now you're educated. So if you're exposed or you're presented with certain opportunities, you know how to react to it. And so all that discipline came from trading, from sitting still and gaining the new knowledge. And so being physically injured, I had to gain new knowledge on how the body works, what causes what. When you think that the pain in the knee is really, or the knee is having so many issues because it's just the knee, when it could possibly be coming from the back or the hips or the feet or whatever, that's important to know, because you'll be working on one thing and you really is something else and you're ruining it even more. So, I didn't talk y'all head off. Oh my God. Anyways, you know, do great things out there. Create a budget, create a plan that'll help you get your finances in the place where you want them to be, so that you can self-sustain when it's time for you to retire, and it'll be easier. You don't find yourself back into an 8 hour, but that 8 hour would be into something that you're doing that's growing your company, that's bringing cash flow into your household, not continuing for 40, 50, 60 years for someone else. And then when 50s, 60s and 70s hit you, you can't even enjoy your retirement or what you build, because you so broke down, or you're tired, you're just worn out, you just can't do anything. I may be injured, but I got a little energy. I can move around a little bit. Most people, it's done. It's a done deal. There's no notion of motivation nowhere. They can't even ignite or spark the idea of working towards mobility again, because they just kind of give up, because the end of the tunnel is not near. It's something that you have to dig through, like in a coal mine. You don't even see the light yet. You just keep digging. And when you get a little peek of it, it's how it was when I started walking with the canes back again. I got a little peek of the light. And I was like, oh, I see it? Oh, that's a wrap. Oh, I'm coming up out of this. Mess with your hair. I seen some friends for the first time in probably about 2 or 3 years last night. And they were like, like, what happened? Yeah, life happened. Life happened, peace. Life happened. So now it's a change. You got to get it back. It was like, wow, you handling it pretty good though. You ain't got no choice. Live or die, baby. That's what it is. It's a live or die type of deal here. At the tip of it. It's at the tip of it. Or whatever. Boom, set back in. We live back in. So as excited as I am about the market, that's how excited I want to stay for physical progress. And that's the journey. That's what I'm working on. I'm sorry I talk y'all head to that. That's what happens when you don't go to sleep. So, well, you guys have a phenomenal day.
I think that was some good knowledge, Mo. I don't think you talked our head to death. I think that was some, everything, you get everything in the right time, in due time,
Whoop, whoop. I'm hoping it's been beneficial. I look forward to seeing you drop into a class or two so we can get this knowledge up. Be well worth the presence. Trust that. But anyways, 7:47, and I probably need to go to sleep. So I'll see you all in the morning if Saturday is not a bit too much for you. Thank you guys for watching out there in social media world. Peace and love to Dagger Squad, Garfield. Everybody go subscribe to my channel. I need about 200 plus more subscribers. Peace to Facebook. Hey, you guys, it is Friday, right? The weather is crazy outside over here. Oh, it's I don't even go out there. But anyways, you guys enjoy your day nevertheless. And if it's raining in your area or you're snowed in, pick up a book. Pick up a book or pop in a YouTube video or check out an audio book and make it happen. Enhance your knowledge. Learn something new, something that's going to better your whole household. Okay. And in the meantime, in between time, here we go.
Why are you down? Why you down? Lift your head up, yeah. Get into the sound, yeah. And start to worship, yeah. I know you get hurt bad, baby, yeah. But he's not the answer, so let's celebrate life. All my people, yeah, let's celebrate life, yeah, we are free from sin.
Oh, let's talk about love. Let's talk about life.
That's right.
Peace, y'all. Y'all have a good day.
You too, Mom.
That's crazy. I was jamming too.
Have a purpose, yeah. We serve a higher God.